And good morning. It's Saturday, May 24th, 2025. Saturday, May 24th, 2025. First morning in Southwest Ohio in a while. Because we've been on the long, lonesome road to Florida. We left Thursday night a week ago, or Thursday afternoon a week ago. And we were in Bradenton for the week. And now I'm going to head out. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I'm gonna head out, go down and pick my uncle up, or jump in his truck anyway, meet Brady. And we're gonna head down to Lincoln County, Kentucky for a reunion deal down there, Kings Mountain, more specifically. We'll probably go in, or we will go into Crab Orchard. Probably do that tomorrow, maybe today, I'm not sure, but mostly tomorrow. But we spend the day in Kings Mountain today. We'll get down there probably a little bit before noon and hang out at the little church gathering place they have there. Have a little lunch. Remember some old times, or they'll remember old times, and I'll remember old times, hearing the stories and everything. Then we'll go down by the railroad track. We'll go down by the cemetery. Do some stuff there and hang out, listen to more stories. I'll try to get my cousin Billy Jack, if he's there, to tell some more train stories. And we'll see Christian Rector, most likely Rector Railroad, or Southern Ohio Productions or something. He changed his channel name. I have to ask him what it is, but it was Rector Railroad and he changed it to Cincinnati Southern Railroad or something like that. But looking forward to seeing him. I'm hoping he's going to be there. But anyway, welcome to Jeff's Trips. That's a long intro. Welcome to Jeff's Trips. Let's get on the road. Guys, taking a little morning ride. Piping hot caffeinated beverage achieved. Saw Brady in the little Shell store here next to John's house. And we're going to be heading on down to John's house here. Take me about 2 minutes. Get my seatbelt on here. We'll see what's going on down there. All right.
On the way to the mountain in Crab Orchard. Our annual Memorial Day trip. Big day in the country.
This is the third year we've been filming. Brady wasn't here last year, but we got Big Brady this year. John, Uncle John, and me. I'm ready to go. Are you guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's ready to go.
Let's go.
Saddle up.
Mount up.
Let's pack up the.
Grab your grip.
Mount up.
Pack up your. Pack up our stuff. And get on in here. Get on out of here.
You want to take this up in there?
If you do, especially the animal crackers.
All right.
Figured that would be a good snacking thing. Got the caffeinated, piping hot caffeinated
Are you
beverage.
gonna sit behind John?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Sit on the other side. Oh, well, it's up to you.
I'll sit behind Brady, or behind you, because. All right, getting ready to head over to Kentucky again. There's the Bengals workout facility. River's high for sure. Looks smooth but high.
Muddy too.
And muddy. Here's the revolving restaurant on the top of the Radisson.
18th floor. 300 something rooms.
300 some rooms. Johnny was, Uncle John here was involved in. Were you involved in the building of that, or just the maintaining of it?
Maintaining, remodeling.
Just the maintaining, not the building.
Remodeled every room in it.
He said he remodeled every room in it, and
$10,000 per room.
10 grand a room to remodel it.
And then we totally redid the ballroom, put a new sliding roof on the swimming pool, and refinished the pool. A bunch of underground parking garage repairs. It went on. And when we got ready to sell it, I was like kind of sad that we were selling off a company asset. And when it was gone, I went, whew, man, I'm glad that's over with. Because it was a nightmare every day.
That's funny. Didn't you say the garage flooded all the time and the elevator never worked or something like that?
We put brand new elevators in it. And also, I forgot about that. I think that was $1 million right there. The old ones, they operated on contactors. When someone pushed a button for an elevator to move, a contactor would open and close. Old mechanical, electric. It was electric, of course, but it was a mechanical contactor, and it would snap. We had a room up on the 19th floor for the elevators, and you walk in there and it'd be just snapping and popping and going on. And then what we put in was computer operated computers, which was totally silent, and it had all kinds of features on it, but it cost $1 million.
That's crazy. All right, we're down here with Marathon Station. Where are we at? Marathon Station, south of Lexington. Where's this little area at?
I don't know, but we're headed to Nicholasville. Next stop is Nicholasville, and then Camp Nelson.
Yeah, we're gonna pull into Camp Nelson. We usually stop there, which is the Veterans Cemetery down here in south of Lexington on 27. We got John's truck, the trusty steed, taking us down there. Awesome little Ranger.
Huge horse in the old supplier.
We are at Camp Nelson, south of Lexington on 27. We have a flag.
Huh?
What is it?
Do we have a flag?
Can you have one?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You can take a few of them if you want.
Thank you. You want another one, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
This is Camp Nelson again. This was a Union camp during the Civil War down here south of Lexington, just up from the Kentucky River. When you go down a little bit south from here, like a mile or so, the Kentucky River is down in a huge valley, which was a big protection for this camp coming from the south. There's a big natural barrier, and that's one reason why this camp ended up here, Camp for the North. But these are all veterans that are buried in here, like a mini Arlington. Really neat looking. If you ever get a chance to look at this, stop by here. Of course, we stopped by here being Memorial Day weekend. You can hear the locusts in the background, so they're invading. But we stop here Memorial Day weekend, Saturday morning here one of our things that we've done over the years. We got Lee's Famous Recipe, traditional stop. We're gonna pick up some food and take it down to Kings Mountain. Lee's Famous Recipe. Baked beans, green beans, mashed potatoes, coleslaw.
A little further south, I think Pepsi's bigger than Coke.
What in Atlanta? Yeah, but Coke's based out of Atlanta.
Yeah, but we had some stores in Kentucky here, Somerset and London. They sold Pepsi because it was bigger draw.
Yeah. I've never ordered a
Pepsi.
If you order a Coke and they have Pepsi, they say, is Pepsi okay? But they never say, is Coke okay? Because they know Coke's okay. All right, here we are at the Wayne Snow Memorial Wayne Snow Fellowship Hall. Always an interesting building because it's half underground. This is where we have our luncheon. A lot of times you never know how many people are going to be here, but a couple of years ago it was pretty many people, but last year I think it dwindled quite a bit. And that happens because people die off, pass away, move away, and the kids don't keep the tradition going, stuff like that. Kind of a shame these little communities dry up a lot of times. Pretty day though. Beautiful day. Looks like there's some cars pulling in. Whoa. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. This the Jenkins section? This the Jenkins section here?
Huh?
The Jenkins section?
Yeah.
All right here. How have you been? I say, how you been?
Yeah, pretty good. I looked at you guys last night, but
Yeah,
I thought about what they wouldn't have been up
Yeah.
last night.
we don't have that far
Are
to
you
go.
staying down at Somerset?
Yeah, you have to ask Johnny where we're staying at exactly. He knows.
Stay in the house or a motel?
Motel, but we are staying in Somerset, I believe, or thereabouts. Are you in Somerset?
Yeah, quality.
Okay. I have to ask Jen where John where we're staying.
This where the dance is?
That's where the dance, right here.
Only the dance was here.
What's happening? How you doing?
Hanging in there, brother.
Good to see you.
This where
Good
the
to see you.
dance is?
Hello, Faye. How you doing?
Is this where the dance is? Yeah. Oh, that's what. No, John. No.
I didn't even see you sitting there. What do you got in your hand?
There you go.
You mowing? How you doing? Good to see you. I got that same shirt. Yeah, same shirt. Yeah. Got that same shirt. How you doing?
Y'all been doing all right?
Yeah, we're all been doing all right.
How are you?
Got the food going. Bringing in some food. What's the host guy's name? This is Richard Jones. He puts this little soiree on, don't you?
Yeah,
How long you been doing that?
I got a book there that I've signed in. I think since 2001.
2001.
That I took it over.
Well, my grandparents would have been here back then, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So. Well, we appreciate you doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I want to try to keep it going for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
But I went to Kings Mountain School myself. I
Okay.
graduated from Kings Mountain in '69.
Okay.
So,
Well, the one building I saw they just tore down.
yeah, Out of the old Memorial High School.
Yeah.
I heard they was gonna build something else about the school back there. I don't know what.
Okay. Well, yeah, last year when we were here, Johnny and I drove around and I filmed it
Yeah.
and put it on my channel. So
There you go.
we're going to go back and film it now, what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Thanks. This was last year. This is this year. We'll sign my name on that. He is Christian, the man, the myth.
Man, the
What's
myth, the
happening? How you doing?
legend. Doing good. How about
Let me
yourself?
get you on the camera here.
Hello,
Good-
YouTube.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jeff.
You see Brady sitting there?
Yeah, I did.
That's cool. We was hoping you were going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
Are you YouTubing it? You're Southern Railroad now, aren't you?
Cincinnati Southern Railroad.
Cincinnati Southern Railroad.
Yeah, Cincinnati Southern Rail. Well, it's Cincinnati Southern Productions.
That's right.
Yeah, Cincinnati Southern Productions.
Yeah, I saw you change your channel name.
Yeah, I wanted something a little bit more professional.
Yeah.
And of course, that honors the railroad out here, which was
Right.
originally built by the Cincinnati Southern Railway. So there
Right.
we go.
Awesome. I'm glad you came by.
Yes.
No mom this year?
Hmm?
You had your mother here last year.
Yeah, I did. She's staying at home this year. She's busy doing some house cleaning and
I
everything.
got you.
So, but I decided to make an appearance. I also brought some models, so
Yeah, all right.
so your folks will get to see some train models.
All right, we'll check it out. Stay tuned for train models.
Yes, they do.
Lose a loved one.
Yeah. Sound like a train's climbing a grade here.
Yeah. Down this way.
Might just be able to glimpse it.
Yeah. That's there kind of in front of that gray building.
Yeah. Definitely can hear it.
Oh shoot! Maintenance away engine. Maintenance away engine.
Boy, we got to put a nipple on a bottle for him.
Yeah.
He's got to run with the big dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, he's crawling.
Yeah, so that's about it for me.
This is all we got this year, looks like.
There you go. We got 15. I said 15.
We got one outside.
Oh, we got 35.
First of all, I want to welcome everybody here again this year. Make it back out. And it's like I several people.
I'm Mitchell Dagley.
Jeff Stefano.
Who?
Jeff. He's praying.
Oh, okay.
Keep it going every year. Mary Helen Singleton asked me about a year or so, of course, she passed away this year. And she asked me if something happened to her, if I would keep this going. I said, I'm gonna try my best. So, you know, I know there 2 or 3 years there, we didn't have it because of COVID going around and stuff. But I'm so glad everybody come out, make it today, and hopefully remember it next year. If you all need my phone number to call me, I give you my phone number and stuff, make sure, you know. But anyway, we'll say a prayer over the food and stuff, and everybody can come around and get what they want. Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you at this time, Lord. We ask you to bless these people who come out to reminisce of old times, Lord. The grandparents that went here before. Hopefully we can keep this thing going every year, you know, for people to come back to the old King's Mountain School reunion. Now we ask you to bless this food, to nourish our body, Lord. We grow stronger each and every day. For this we ask you, Lord, Christ, in your name. Amen.
Amen. We'll come up here and see what kind of food we got. It's like some chili of some type, chicken, baked beans, baked beans. What are you getting there, Kristen?
I'm gonna give me some green beans, chicken, and some mashed potatoes here.
Coleslaw,
Looks like Billy Jack's getting in there.
Fortunately,
Oh, look at this cornbread.
I'm not gonna let it get away. Come on in there.
Is it good, folks?
Oh yeah, it's excellent, sir.
Excellent.
Cameraman,
I'm gonna go get me
needs to take a break and get him over
Yeah, I'm gonna get me something to eat too. Nice table decorations. I don't care what you say about Richard. He did a good job.
Has everybody signed this book? Yeah.
That's right there, camera right there. Yeah, a couple years ago, this was a trailer they were tearing down. I don't remember this pad being down here though, so the trailer must have been in front of it. That was probably a porch for the trailer. These are the telephone poles here. Yeah, that was probably a front porch for the trailer. Yep, that's what was going on. The trailer sat right here, in front of it. Looks like they got it cleaned up pretty good. Spoon. Looks like there was a railing right here. One time there used to be a store here on the corner. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but this was probably like a sidewalk to the store, and then the store entrance was down here, but the store was all the way up in that little field area there. Burned down in the late 60s, I think. They had all kinds of stuff in there. At one time, a family member, Uncle Noble, as they called him, Noble Paget, owned it. This was the foundation for it. I believe that might have been a doorway into it at one time. And I have seen pictures where there was a corner door. You can actually see the corner of the foundation of the building there. And this was the steps that went into it. Right here. And there is a picture of the shop owner somewhere, I think up in one of Lanny's books, that has a picture of him standing in this door, like late 50s, early 60s or something. But that's how these little towns dry up. Building burns down, nothing gets built back in its place, then eventually the stories go away and all that kind of good stuff. This store here was my great uncle, I believe, built this, and there was a doctor's office in here. This was built in the 50s or 60s, and looks like somebody's coming this way. This is built in the 50s or 60s, and it was a store years ago. When we came down here in 2003, it was still a little store, and I bought a little doll for my daughter at the time. At that time, when we came down here for, we had brought my grandparents down. It was a big pilgrimage back to where they came from, and this was one of our stops. This is a post office of Kings Mountain, and this post office here has literally been here as long as I can remember, because I ran around this area as a kid. We would come down here for the summertime. Well, not for the summertime, but for a week out of the summertime. And this post office Kings Mountain, Kentucky. Let me get over here. United States Post Office, Kings Mountain, Kentucky. What's interesting about this little building is dedicated public service, 1969. Richard M. Nixon, President of the United States. And Winton M. Blount was the Postmaster General. Go in here and check this out. But this is kind of a post office, style post office that they built back in the day in these small towns, and this one's still going, which is kind of neat. I had to mail myself a letter so to have a Kings Mountain stamp on it. Yeah. Kind of a neat little post office here. $20.25 stamps. Post office boxes. Kind of neat. All right, we're here at Christian's car. He's got, once again, last year he had a sign and and he showed us his new Kings Mountain Railroad sign.
Yeah, so this is a few models I brought over to show off.
A couple of models, he's saying.
A couple things. So this here is the new legendary Southern Railway tangent cabooses. Now these cabooses here are pretty cool and also very popular. These things are actually sold out right now.
Really?
Yes. They have been highly sought after by the Southern Railway modeler community.
That's neat, crazy. Yeah, because it says Southern right on it.
Yeah, and these things are pretty much the most accurate HO scale Southern cabooses on the market for plastic. And these things are actually really cheap too. And then we also have a little light up one here, and they actually go across the top here when it's on the track, and it'll actually turn on the lights.
Cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It has a full detailed interior. It's just, it's a great.
Let me see the picture of it there on the.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just that on that, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a little reference picture for everybody here. So that is what a real life version.
And folks, when he says the Southern Railroad, he's talking about the railroad that Cincinnati just recently sold. The city owned the railroad. It's called Southern, right? What was it called? Southern? What was the official name?
It was called the Cincinnati Southern Railway.
Yeah.
However, though, that railroad did become a part of the Southern Railway system.
Okay.
The Southern leased it from the city of Cincinnati, and then later when they merged with the N&W to form Norfolk Southern, they continued to lease the line until, I think it was, what, 2 years ago, was it, when they bought it?
Yeah.
2 years ago?
Which was controversial that Cincinnati sold that. But,
yes, agreed.
Did they lose a lot of money? Or?
Well, when they were leasing it all those years, I believe it was like $25 million a year.
In profit?
In profit. Well, you could say that, yeah. Okay, what are these?
Okay, so this right here is a Louisville and Nashville M1. So this is the Berkshire type for the L&N. What you're seeing here is another one of my rarest models. I own another one of these, which is 1971. So I have
cool.
two.
It's realistic.
Yeah, this thing is brass.
Oh, yeah.
And this is also 1 out of 300 ever produced.
Is that right? The whole thing's, the body of it's brass and stuff?
Everything.
That's awesome.
Everything here is brass. The co-load here, this is a real co-load. This was added by my friend Justin. And this tender here actually has some significance to me. So this tender here, this is of course 1958. Later on, the locomotive does not exist. Unfortunately, all the Emmas got scrapped. However, the tender still does exist today. It now looks like this. This is our water tender at Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation.
Okay.
And that is what this tender here became.
Okay.
So there you go. It kind of became a water canteen, pretty much. And speaking about Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation.
Right when you were just putting that back in there.
Okay, did I say speaking about Kentucky Steam Heritage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anyways, speaking about Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation, here's our Steam Star herself.
All right.
2716. So this is a Proto 2000 model. This has been, this has some upgrades and paint work and stuff like that. Done by me and my friend Justin.
That's neat. How old is that model?
This model here, I forget when Proto came out with these, so we're just gonna say, I'm just gonna assume early 2000s.
Okay.
Early 2000s.
It's 20 plus years old.
Yeah, they don't make these.
Now, do you
models.
buy those online, like from other people that are selling them, or where do you come up with that stuff at?
Usually buy them online, eBay, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now this one right here, like the gym model, this model is actually really old. This came out in like the 60s.
Okay. Oh, the one you showed us
Yeah,
earlier?
the one that I showed you earlier.
The
This one-
1958 one?
Yeah, the 1958. Yeah, this thing came out in like the 60s.
That's cool.
I think.
Well, I think I've told you this. I got an old Lionel set that was my
Yeah.
dad's when he was a kid, probably late 40s, maybe early 50s at the youngest.
Still have all that.
I still have it. Need to get it out. And actually, Billy Jack, my cousin Billy,
Yeah, Billy. Yeah.
he's a big HO guy, or I mean,
O-scale guy.
Lionel, yeah, O-scale guy.
yeah.
And he says for me to bring it over and he'll get it running. So maybe we'll do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're just hanging out waiting for Johnny and Christian to get done with their conversation and probably go down and head out down there and look at the train tracks. So this is right across the street from where we just ate lunch. And a man by the name of Ralph Baston grew up there. Ralph Baston was stepdad to all my cousins. Kenny Buys, Bertie Buys, Nancy Buys, Kenny Buys, I'm sorry, daggone it, Randy Buys. So he was stepdad to them, grew up here. This house has been in disrepair for many years. Looks like it's gonna fall down. That might be the chimney over there, little chimney. And I might have to come back here when the weather's bad to kind of stick my head in there and see what it looks like. But I can see a porch swing still on the swing, kind of down on the ground. Very sad. You know, people lived in these little houses. They go into disrepair. And, you know, one thing after another, they might get vandalized, windows broke out, whatever, but overgrown. It's amazing how overgrown these houses get. But yep, this is relation to us that lived here. So, Billy Jack here, my cousin, nephew to my grandmother, and so Billy Jack, one of his many claims is he took the last train out of Kings Mountain.
One of them, yes, steam engine right here,
And he said the depot was
right in this area.
right in this area.
Probably right here because there's probably the thing so you could cross that track to get over to the main.
Okay, you think it was? You think that's been there that long? This this wooden area, you think that's been there that long? Okay.
That way you cross the track, you know, people wouldn't trip right there.
Trip over the regular track. Yeah, that may.
They drive a vehicle over there.
Well, they would take.
Or they
those,
could have your
they'd
luggage.
take those wagons, you
Little,
know,
little wagon
just
to
have
carry
the
your
wagon,
luggage
yeah.
or something. So what year was that, or what? Do you remember the exact date?
Prior to '58, I don't know exactly what year. I remember I had a broken arm.
Prior to '58.
Yeah, I was down here 6 weeks. I was in heaven. Came down here, stayed 6 weeks. I loved it. Man, it was great. Blast.
Yeah. And you went back to Cincinnati in '58, basically, or prior to '58.
Yeah, prior.
How old were you?
Oh, I was probably about 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. So 58. When was the last trains come out of here, or stop?
Well, that would have probably been the last time it stopped here. And then when they went to diesel, they kept going and they'd stop at Somerset or Danville.
Okay.
And you had to catch your train there.
So that was a steam train when you came out of here.
Steam one we caught. And then when my aunt would come up, she would go over to Danville and catch them. And they'd be the diesels. They never stopped here no more. This depot was closed.
Okay. And then how long did the depot stay here as an empty shack until they tore it down? Do you know that?
Early 60s, I'd say.
So it was probably around another 3 or 4 or 5 years at the most.
Just sit here.
They came through and tore it down. Probably vagrants and teenagers hanging out in it.
Yeah, no, this town was always pretty slow. I mean, I was telling Faye, a lot of times my great-grandmother lived across here,
Yeah.
and it would be so still, you could hear the screen door slam on the store over here.
Is that right?
That's how quiet it is in this valley.
Yeah. I gotcha. That's neat.
Yeah, straight about across where you're shooting's where her old place is. It fell in now.
Okay. Yeah, me and John have gone on that road over there and eyeballed. You know, there was a hotel over there at one time, wasn't
Well,
there?
the hotel was back here.
I thought there was one on this side of the railroad track
I
too.
don't think so that I know of. This was the last one, which caught on fire.
Okay.
That was about 49, somebody
Wasn't there?
said.
Didn't we say there was a hotel over there?
Penny Baker Hotel.
Penny
Oh,
Baker.
okay.
Yeah.
That had to go down before this one over here then.
Yeah.
Because I think this one burned down in 49, I believe.
What was the name of the store on the corner there again?
The one over here,
Yeah.
that was Raymond Stull's, which used to be John Froggy Bell. My
What was the
mother
name of the
worked for
store though?
him. It was called, well, just called it Raymond Stull's. That was it.
That's this one.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the one
yep.
right here, the first one. The one on the corner was Irvin Walls.
What was the name of that store?
They didn't have a name, just
Oh.
a guy that owned it.
General store?
Yeah, that's all they all were. And then Patterson's on the corner.
Patterson's, that's what I thought. On the
Yeah,
corner.
That's on the corner where we
Yeah,
were just
that's what I
at.
was looking for.
And that one was your basic big general store. It had everything, meat, farm equipment, everything there.
Yeah.
These other two, well, Irvin did mostly lunch meat. He didn't do like,
But the one that's still standing was, that's the one our great grandpa built, wasn't it?
yeah, Irvin Walls, was
Yeah.
there. Who played on the basketball team with
Yeah,
Ralph
yeah.
Baston.
Right.
And
I just took a little video of Baston's place. I need to come back when the
is that the one
vegetation's
next to the
down.
post office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one there growed up?
I need to come
I
back
thought they
here.
were up one more. I didn't know. There used to be one about 2 more up. Had the nice big porch on the front of it. Kind of looked like a small mansion. You know how their style is. And
Well, the one was
Thompson?
Beatrice, one of my grandma's friends.
Beatrice was up past Grandpa's house. just a
Yeah.
little bit
You're
past-
right. You're right.
Across the street.
What was her name?
up the-
Daggone, I can't think of her last name. Thompson or something? Wasn't B.
Close to
Thompson.
that. Close. Yeah.
Yeah, but all right.
I tell you what, they still.
Pheasant Point Baptist Church is where a lot of our family are buried. There's a cemetery here.
You were here before.
Yeah, I was here 2 years ago.
I thought you looked familiar, but you're his.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't let him come in down there.
Yeah, you guys can sit behind us in church.
Oh, were you sitting
Yeah.
that truck?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a rough night last night.
Joe came in sitting right behind me and Rita.
We always try
2
to sit
years
in the
ago,
back
wasn't it?
row. We always like to be in the back row.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a good back row Baptist.
Yeah.
Last in, first out.
Are they in a?
They're just sitting right there in the corner. If there's
Oh,
how many out? Is there just a 3 out? Yeah, there should be 3 or 4.
They live with Nash.
He does. James says it don't.
He didn't send for anything, did
They
he?
show it as Lower Bell.
Maybe he had a band at one time. They called him El Veet, the man with the beat.
I asked James.
Never
he's
mind.
not
I'm a
right there,
jokester too much.
But it's, I found it several times. The old Laura Bell Floyd. But all they ever call her was
First
Bell,
time I ever
Laura
heard that.
B.
Johnny's begging for flowers because we forgot him this year. Or he forgot him. These are all our clan through here. And the ones I know personally, or knew personally, was Vita. Here, Vita, I knew Vita. Died in 2003. And I knew Joe. He died in 1994. Those are who I know personally that are in this area here. Oh. And this John Floyd, I don't remember him, but I definitely would have met him. Died in 1979.
November 46 he was born.
Yeah.
So the lady sitting next to me, that's her brother.
He must have been in Vietnam maybe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady sitting next to you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
In
interesting.
the census, the year he was born all depended on how old his girlfriend was or his wife was. He adjusted his age to be closer to theirs.
Wonder if that was his true age then.
Yeah, we think that's probably pretty close. Yeah, I've seen it as being 87 before.
So he took Roberta to, what'd you say?
Detroit.
Detroit
Yeah.
to marry her.
Why Detroit?
He was working there. He traveled around and worked at big jobs.
Yeah, construction,
Like
right?
doing-
Yeah, construction.
Downtown, like high-rise buildings, downtowns.
Yeah.
He would take the train out of here on a Sunday night or a Monday morning.
He would be gone. He had apartments where he lived. He lived in Covington for a while.
Okay, so he never really was in town too much then. I thought he came back on the weekends.
No, I don't think on the weekends. Not from like Wichita, Kansas, or any others.
That's
like
true.
Detroit back in the day.
Yeah.
That'd be a trip.
Yeah. So he might be gone for a month or two.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sent home to Bucks, I guess.
And that's why June had to come back home when her mother died,
Yeah.
because he was going to be gone, and the other kids needed someone here to be
Right.
supervised.
Yeah.
So he just sent the paycheck back here?
I don't know how that worked, but my mom said that they always did pretty good because he always was working.
Yeah.
He Venmoed it down here.
He what?
Venmo.
Yeah. And my dad says we didn't really know there was a depression going on. They were already poor and living the same
Yeah.
way that you lived with a depression.
Well, LV probably worked under the CCC and the
No, I think
government jobs and stuff like that?
I think they were more like big factory jobs and big projects like that. Not CCC. Like when you're done, you threw it out.
Threw it out in the yard or something?
Threw it out. Step off in the back grandpa's house, the porch.
Sometimes it was real cold. It'd probably just freeze midair.
But there's no toilet inside, so we had a pot. It was like a bucket, white porcelain, and dark, and the rim turned out to make it easier on your butt. Yeah. And at night,
yeah, God,
all women would pee in there and use the toilet paper. And in the morning, someone had to carry the pot out, get rid of, throw the pot out, or get the pot. You go out in the back, right where the grass got a little bit bigger, going out to the smokehouse. Throw that baby out. A little bits of toilet paper to go with it. Someone pooped in there, poop and go out.
People just weren't as clean back then. Just didn't have the hygiene.
I was peeing off the back porch one time.
And I don't know how we got onto this subject.
Yeah, Mom always comes. Never mind.
Yeah, we're talking about the smokehouse, and we were wondering how long you had to smoke it, or if you had like ham, for instance, it would be smoke cured or salt cured. I guess you just rubbed salt on it to salt cure it, but you probably had to soak it in or put it in salt water for a while or something.
I rubbed it, then they stacked it together.
So they sliced it, then did that?
No, I think they did like a ham.
Yeah.
They rubbed the outside of it.
Okay.
And then stack it up. Lanny might know.
Interesting minds want to know. Or inquisitive minds want to know.
That ride coming up in June. That's too long for me.
Well, what are you doing? What do you do on July 20th?
Me?
Yeah. Well, you ought to come out to the Warren County Fairground and watch a derby. Demolition.
This is the inside of the Pleasant Point, or the Point Pleasant Baptist Church. We have been coming here the last couple of years, but this year we're not going to. Oh, that door's locked. I guess I have to go around the side. Never mind. Here's the inside of the church. This is the wing of the church that has the little kiddie classrooms in it, nursery, stuff like that. Kind of neat. This is the back. Looking out towards the little hall that they have where we have our luncheon. Again, we're not going here this year because we're going to go to the Christian church in Crab Orchard. Kind of a neat little wing to the church. They added, I believe, in the 60s. Kind of cool. All right. Well, we're trying to do our own press penny here. I think you're walking right to it, Brady. A lot of times you won't see them because they get flipped off.
You put some over there though, didn't you?
Yeah, here, this one.
There's one right here, dude. Check it out. Here's a couple. Here's another one.
They get mashed? Yep, yeah. Sure did. There's one right by your foot too. I made my own pressed penny. Oh, I did. Did I not turn it on? Okay. Made my own pressed pennies. That's an actual penny. Look at there. That looks official right there. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go, kids. I don't recommend doing this at home. Here's a railroad spike. Yep, I don't recommend doing that at home, but that was neat.
Yeah, we don't condone doing this.
Yeah,
But if you find yourself near tracks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We weren't down here when the train went by though, although we have been a million times. All right, that was cool. Yeah, we don't recommend that, but that was fun. Press penny, press quarter, press nickel. Oh, here's another one. Where's that thing at? Right down in there. That was a penny. Damn it. Just like it embedded.
I feel like it's because the sun went back under the clouds. It was a lot sunnier earlier.
Yeah. Oh, from being hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found another one there too. Look at where the impressions went.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't see any more. That was fun. All right, well, I guess Johnny's making a phone call, or he was.
Yeah, more smell.
Here's an old spike here too. Start all over again.
Railroad had a group of guys called section hands or section gang, and they worked in the maintenance of way department. Maintenance of way is maintenance of the right-of-way. And what they do is they were responsible keeping the track clear on a certain section, maybe 5-mile section of track. And on those 5 miles, they kept the limbs out of the way, any trees fell on the track, cutting brush, keeping that clean. But they also had to take care of the ties, taking care of the ties or loose spikes, and maybe a broken rail they had to replace. But these guys worked in a group, a gang, because one of their responsibility was, as a big train came along with a lot of weight, this track would move. The ballast would get loose underneath, soft, the track would move, and especially on curves where the weight of the train is going, it's pushing on the outside rail more. So they had to keep this lined up. So they'd have a supervisor stand at one end, so he would sight line down the track to make sure when it was straight. And they used a rod in between to measure with to keep it at the same proper distance.
Mm-hmm.
So the gang would have, each guy would have a long steel post, and he would jam it into the ground, and then to move the track, they would all work together.
Mm-hmm.
And so one guy would be calling out a cadence, or like singing, or like row, that kind of deal. So they would all push at the same time to put all the manpower into it instead of each individual guy working. And so they'd make up little songs and things to keep them working, and, you know, make it easier to work, more fun, and also get more strength into moving the track. And they would just move down the tracks, lining the track, lining it up. Nowadays they have machinery do most of that, but there's still guys that ride along in high rail trucks, pickup trucks, but they get on the track and they got railroad wheels on it, and it powers them up and down the track, and they inspect the track all the time. And these tracks will break and crack.
Yeah.
And they'll have to do a temporary repair on it, because if it cracks and the next train splits it, could be a derailing.
Yeah.
So there's still guys that check this on a daily basis.
Yep, a lot of maintenance, man.
Oh, here comes this train, speaking
Oh,
of which.
shit.
Speaking of which, here's a good
Excuse my French. I picked up the railroad spike, too. Yeah, I threw that down.
Yeah. He's going slow, man. This is going to be a big,
Yeah.
long train.
Yeah. 2 engines,
3, isn't it?
maybe 3.
Sometimes they put them in the middle.
Yeah, they had a middle job when we were up at the luncheon. You could see them coming through the trees. Man, that's a lot of weight.
coming out of that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the heat. Those cables were unhooked.
That's the airline.
Those unhooked. Yeah.
That's for the brake.
Yeah.
Pretty daggone smooth.
Yeah. Sound like they greased wheels on that thing. No banging, no.
Yeah.
Those are full too, aren't they? Coal. Coal train, Roscoe P. Coal train. That's a lot of coal. Oh yeah, more than that.
And they'll get the green light when they're through.
You know how long this train could take, how fast it's going? Won't throw the switch. Won't throw the switch until that time on the day.
I mean, damn, that's some weight.
They're all full of coal, every one of them.
Could be heading north.
Yeah,
You know, coming from the
yeah.
Appalachian.
Appalachian.
He's starting to get speed now.
Yeah.
Right flattening out on top. Or it's going back downhill. Look at the end of the train. Very end of it. See that red box? That box?
Yeah.
That's called an EOT, end of train device.
Oh, okay.
That took the place of cabooses. Every train has those now. And that's talking to the computer up in the engine. It's saying, number one, hey, I got air pressure back here. And it's got GPS in it saying, hey, I'm still back here. We haven't disconnected. We're part of the train. And then all other kind of stuff. It's sending forward information.
All right, folks. So this is the Kings Mountain School. John and I last year. If you want to see the school, go to last year's trip this same time of the year to Lincoln County. And we drove around the parking lot. I filmed some of it. Was able to walk up to a couple of the windows and put my camera up to the window. But we were able to film some of it. John said at that time it was slated for tear down. That's kind of when we filmed it, documented it. Now it's been torn down. It's been erased from existence. Pal Martin Classic Cars. Here's this picture just like that truck. Call him up. There we go, right there. That's a nice little unit. No for sale sign though. Little 34 Ford. Classic car alert. All right. Classic car alert here. Kyle Martin's classic cars. Here's a Mercury. Crazy about a Mercury. Fitty Merc. Fitty. 1950 Merc. That's a neat little unit. I'm hearing those locusts in the background. That's a nice little unit. Nice little Unite. This is Kyle Martin's Classic Cars 27, Lincoln County, Kentucky. Coming by yourself. Usually he's got for sale signs with prices on the windows, but he doesn't today.
This field is named after Paul Crossley.
Pal.
Pal Crossley.
This guy's Pal Martin, which is kind of funny.
This is cars of Crossley. And his idea was to build things that people could afford.
He had Crossley radios, cars, refrigerators, yeah.
His son wanted a radio real bad. He went to the store to get a radio, and he goes, yeah, that's expensive. I need to come up with something people can afford. So he started getting into radio, WLW. So it turned into be, it's read to what kind of factory it was.
So we're talking about my grandma, John's mom, worked for Crossley
During World War II.
during World War II.
In a factory in Cincinnati, right off I-75, kind of close to UC. And now they're going to refurbish it into, I think, condos and apartments.
Okay.
But she worked there during the war, making some type of little electronic devices. And I asked her what she was making. She says, I don't know. They wouldn't tell us. Because
Makes
they
sense.
probably
Yeah.
didn't want word getting out what
Yeah.
was being made in this factory.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, they don't want to be sabotaged or get bombed.
Really?
Yeah.
That all happened from one winter?
I don't think one winter, but this year that really, I mean, it really.
This is the Stanford
L&M.
train depot, L&N depot. John has a secret key to get in. Turn off the alarm.
Next thing you know, the Lincoln County Sheriff will roll.
This is where the track came down, where that caboose is sitting. Down that way. Come in here and check it out.
This is made by school kids. This is the replica of the fort. They have a drawing of the fort.
Cool. This is a rendition of the fort.
Yeah. Made by high school kids. Here's pictures all about it up here.
That's cool.
And we're going to go to the actual right here.
So John said this was the waiting room. You'd be waiting for your train in here.
One man could sit on here, and he pulled this back and forth. He put his feet on these pegs, and then this arm had a pin. You pull this pin, you could swing this around and get this off the track. The rims are steel, but the wheels are wood to make it lighter weight. So this would be like for the supervisor or inspector cruising down the track. Me and another guy put this together.
Where'd you find it at, or where'd you get it?
Well, that was here. That's been here. They bought that. That's been here for years. But this display
Yeah, with the track and stuff.
with the track and this picture, and look at the track lines up right with that track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And then remember I said on the back of the train there's no flatbeds, and lifted it off with cranes and set it into place.
So they towed it up here on tracks?
They brought it up on a train,
Yeah.
on tracks. You know, rolled it up on tracks.
Okay.
Then when they got to a station, I don't know which one, they loaded it onto a flatbed truck and brought it here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But out in front of this building was
1998.
was the platform.
Right, that sidewalk where I said all
Yeah,
deteriorated,
yeah.
that's where the platform was.
Okay.
I've seen it called a canopy before. And then right over here would have been a setting, the freight depot. Sheds back there where coal and so forth.
Yeah. That's what it looked like in the front before.
Right. Yeah, we're standing right at these windows right there.
Okay.
That's the door we came in. No, that's the door right there.
We went to the other side now, right?
When did diesel engines take over?
50s, they started coming around in the 50s. Probably late 40s.
Here's the waiting bench.
Yeah, from somewhere. This back here.
Yeah, is this like an original desk and chair?
Yeah, supposedly. Right.
Original hardwood floor.
What's behind
Yeah.
the big door?
That's the baggage room, which is now like a banquet room. They rent this out.
Original stove, maybe?
No, that came out when I was some other building down the road.
So is that the cart he was talking about that they would wheel across the wood?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I think more like that baggage part that was sitting
Okay.
outside there.
Okay.
And this of course isn't anything original here. This is where the agent's office would have been in this space. But to make this usable for parties and stuff.
It's cool. Meetings and stuff.
The old scale back here for weighing freight, still here. I mean, this room needs to be a lot of work. Floor needs to be redone. How about that wall?
Yeah. Cool. So was this an original to the building then?
Yes.
Okay. What do they use this side
This
for?
is baggage.
Okay.
Baggage and freight in here.
Okay.
Or baggage. The freight building they tore down eventually. Like 100 cars, coal cars would come, like we just saw, would come through here.
Yeah.
But four passenger trains a day would come through here, 2 southbound, 2 northbound.
Okay. And
L&N.
they would stop with the other coal cars and that they would just keep on trucking.
Yeah, I don't, how they would use the same, that was single track.
Yeah.
They'd have to wait, one would have to wait for the other. And I would assume passenger tracks had the right of way, so they always went first.
Back then, not like it is now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Now freight has the right of way.
Probably so.
All right, this is Logan's Fort. We've been here before. You can check out past videos of mine. But this is in Stanford, Kentucky. Logan's Fort was a major fort in the frontier of America back in the
1770s.
Daniel Boone days, actually.
Yeah, he was here.
Daniel Boone was here. Was Simon Kenton here?
Yep. So Daniel Boone was tried for treason right here.
Daniel Boone was tried for treason.
Found innocent.
Found innocent. Simon Kenton was here. A lot of history right here. Now this is a reenactment or recreation of the fort in the general vicinity of where it was, not the exact, but So we've walked around that in the past. You can look at my past videos. This time last year, Lincoln County. Go check it out. Down here, Summer Nights Cruise, Somerset, Kentucky. Where they got anything and everything going up and down the road. We're gonna sit here and car wash a little bit. Up the semi. Just took about 10 times. Can't wait till that semi comes back down this way. Thing sounds good, man. brake. The guy in that blue car is crazy. Man, the smoke smell. We're getting smoked out. The light turns green. All hell's gonna break loose. Yeah, Jesus, somebody's still at this burnout rate. Yeah. That scared me. Damn, he's into that other car just now. Damn, he's all sideways.
Damn,
Jeez,
bro,
oh, Pete.
look, he was hoping they were gonna go. They just smoked themselves out. Look at
He
this
smoked
one
me,
over
he
here.
smoked me. Well, folks, it's like this every fourth Saturday night down in Somerset, Kentucky, from this month through October. You can come down and see this shenanigan. This will be going on until after dark. Look at this fox. Man, that thing's booking it.
I think that's a weird downshift.
The motorcycles guys are nuts. All right, we're in the hotel room, Hampton Inn, Somerset, Kentucky. So I've been in 2 Hamptons in the last 2 days. Anyway, we're here at Hampton and we're going to close her down for the night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We're going to Crab Orchard, Kentucky in the morning, going to the Christian church. As far as we know, it starts at 11, according to John. We'll see you on the next trip, everybody. Thanks for coming along for the ride. A big day.